Hi everybody, welcome along to our Sunday live. This is the last live before the holidays, so it's a bit like end of term here really. However, I've got some quite serious stuff to talk to you about later on, but at the moment let's just revel in the fact that we're all here. We're all, apart from Lynn, who I'd see has got a sore throat. I think we're all well, and hi, Jean. Ready to go. I see that some of you are curious to see about decoupage. Now, I have just videoed a couple of days ago a little video to put out over the holidays about just decoupaging napkins. So when that comes out, you might want to watch that as well. It's just a short video exclusively on getting napkins down without getting them wrinkled. I have my own sort of technique on doing it. I'm sure other people do it this way. It's just I've never seen them do it. And it kind of works for me. And I see Julie's on from Camellia Crafts. She's certainly got the hang of it, and it seems to work a treat for her as well. So we'll crack on and we'll get to the decoupage bit in a short while. However, in the meantime, let me show you what I've been making this morning. I've been making these little floating pockets, I think they are. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, stick them down into your journal. It'd look very nice. You get a nice tag in there, sort of 3.5 by 5.5 probably tag in there. Or, you know, you could have it floating and just paper clip it to the edge of your page. You could have a nice altered paper clip there if you wanted to do that. They're quite useful things, I think. So I've made 2 of the lovely little blue tits, of course, and I've made 2 with this really very pretty sort of watercolour flower of some sort, dog rose maybe, and 2 with this one, also very, very pretty. So that's 6 of those that we have. So let me just show you how I made them. It's not rocket science. It's kind of using up things that we have. Now, when I was doing the trifold envelope journals, I needed some more DL envelopes, and I wanted some that had a bit more body to them than the normal DLs that you buy, you know, WH Smith or wherever. So I ordered these ones from Paper Mill, and they really are lovely. They're beautiful quality. The problem is they're a bit longer than the normal DL, and they didn't fit where I wanted them to fit. So I've now got, I think, 100 or so of these to use up. So let's use a couple of them up now. First thing to do is to glue your flap shut, and I'll glue that, and while we're waiting for that to glue, we'll have a roll call, I think, whilst I'm waiting.
Right, Terry.
Hiya, Terry. Glad your phone's not dead.
Hilda.
Hello, Hilda.
Jania.
Hi, Jania.
Who's watching you on the big telly?
Oh, no.
Michelle.
Hello, Michelle.
Roz.
Hi, Roz.
Jean.
Hi, Jean.
Deborah.
Hello, Deborah.
Denise.
Hello, Benice.
Sugar Mama.
Kerry.
Yep.
Kerry, I thought you were being busy with other duties today. It's nice to see you here. Thank you.
Dixie.
Hello, Dixie.
Amanda.
Still got glitter on that. Hi, Amanda.
Shaz.
Hi, Shaz. Welcome along.
Jan.
Hi, Jan.
Connie.
Hi, Connie.
Lynn.
Hello, Lynn. Sorry you're suffering with a sore throat today.
Sharon.
Hello, Sharon.
Julie.
Hiya, Julie.
Carol.
Hello, Carol.
Marie.
Hi, Marie.
Helen.
Hello, Helen.
Jen.
Hiya, Jen.
Violet.
Hello, Violet.
Nancy.
Hello, Nancy. Nice to see you with us. Thank you. Hiya, Mike.
If I've missed you, shout out.
That seems like a lot of people. You're all very welcome. And I'm so pleased that you've decided to spend a little bit of your Sunday with us. Next weekend and the weekend after, do what you like at the weekends. You don't have to be here with us. Not that you have to be here with us, but I would be offended. Oh dear. So I've glued those down with Collal, which is my favourite glue of the day. It comes in bottles that look like this and larger again. But All, I suppose it is. If you didn't have that on it, that would say all, wouldn't it? Where am I? There. See, that says all, and that says Col. So Col all, I'm guessing. I don't know. It doesn't really matter anyway. So I want to turn up. I want the inside to have the flap on, because that's going to be covered with paper, so you won't see it. And if you want to make it a floating pocket, you want the back to look nice, don't you? So all the gubbins, the flap, etc. is going on the inside. How much did I turn up here? I turned up 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to make a little mark at 2.5 inches. I've got the wrong side of the ruler, which is like not making my life easy, really. I mean, you don't have to be exact with these at all, really. The idea is you just turn up a bit and it becomes the pocket. So that's 2.5 and 2.5 there. And all I'm going to do is stick my thumbnail on that mark, fold it up using my thumbnail as the guide, press it down a little bit, yeah, that's lovely, and square it up that edge as exact as you can. Get your bone folder out and squish it flat. So far so good. Everybody's with me.
Karen says hi.
Karen?
Karen R.
Oh, hello, Karen.
She's busy burning potatoes and onions for breakfast. So enjoying your video.
Oh, I'm sorry if I've burnt your breakfast. Oh, don't say I'm responsible for wrecking food. That would just be awful. Did you see the flan tart, whatever it was, that Flo put up last night that she'd made?
Yes.
Oh, how nice did that look? Still dreaming of it now. Anyway, right, there we are. We've got our flaps to the inside, pockets folded up, back is plain. Okay, so the pages I'm going to use for this are out of Pear's Encyclopedia, 1963 to 64, which makes it younger than me. Isn't that awful? I was born in 1960. But the pages are lovely in it. You know, they're aged, as you can see, they're just lovely. I really like them. So each pocket takes one page, and they're not the biggest pages, these, to be honest, but they're big enough for what we need. So let's use them up. I'm just tearing them out. They might have a sewn, I don't think they've got a sewn in spine anywhere. So I'm just tearing them, and because they're old, they're tearing really easily. Right then, so let's see how wide we want this to be. Just make a mark. I just want it in a little bit from the edge. Not masses, just a little bit. So just make a mark there, and I can stack my 2 pages together. Work smart. I was talking to somebody the other day. In fact, it was Tanya from Tatty Treasures, and we were talking away about things in general, really. And she's in the middle of everything else. She said, "Yes, I've decided I'm going to work smart." Blimey, right back in the workplace. Do you remember those meetings that you used to have about blinking helicoptering up and what was the one? Drill down into it. Oh my goodness me! Used to get invited to meetings via email, and even if you saw the person face to face, there was no point saying to them, I'll be at that meeting this afternoon. No, that wasn't good enough. You actually had to go and answer the email by saying yes, you'd be there, despite the fact you'd just told her you would be there. Anyway, that's life, eh? Mad as it is. So get these 2 sort of squared up, otherwise trouble will ensue.
Linda says hi.
Hi, Linda.
Helen says hi.
Hi, Helen.
Shaz says she's got the ephemera folder at the moment, but she's waiting till after Christmas.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
she doesn't want to lose it in the Christmas post.
Well, you know, there's no rush on it. You know, you've been proper poorly, and nobody is going to criticise you for not sending it out again at this, particularly as you say with the post the way it is. Right, so I'm just going to measure the bottom where I want the bottom piece to be. So I want it to about there and about there. Cut these off. You could do more than 2 at a time. You know, you could work smart and get, you know, do several at a time. But I'm doing 2 in case I fall flat on my face with everybody watching, because that would just be embarrassing. It won't be the first time, but it's always a bit embarrassing when things go hideously wrong. The one thing I have noticed about this Pears Encyclopedia is it's not printed straight. So when you cut straight lines, the print looks a bit cockeyed. You know, that's the straight line there of the print, and you can see it's running off rather dramatically, but never mind, Never mind. Once we've got it decorated up and everything else, I'm sure it'll look just grand and dandy. Right, so those are the bottom pieces. Let's just check that they fit perfectly. So the top pieces, as you see, are not long enough to go down to the bottom, but that doesn't matter, because who's going to see inside there? Nobody. So if I bring that up to the start of the text, yeah, there's still almost an inch there that's covered, so that's fine. This Pears Encyclopedia, it's really interesting actually. This morning while I've been doing away, I've been watching, you know, reading things, and they sound so antiquated. Sound like it couldn't possibly have been, you know, in the 60s. But I guess it was. Right, there we go. So now it's a matter of sticking these on. I've tried various methods this morning, and if you've got a snail, you know those snails that people have, I'll show you them because they're in my bin at the moment, like that, they I think would be the best method of attaching. I had 2 and they're both empty, so that wasn't much good. So then I tried Cosmic Shimmer glue around the outsides. That was okay, but the middle bit was a bit baggy. So then I tried, because I'm going to sew it as well, I tried glue stick, and that was really my preferred method at the moment anyway. Because I'm going to sew it, it doesn't matter if it's not kind of as permanent as you'd like. So let's select which side up we want. There's no real difference on that one. Some of them have so the end of paragraphs and spaces and stuff, which you probably don't want. So I'm just going round the outside, and then it is quite fragile, this paper, but that's its charm, I think. So if you just get one corner right, you're kind of bound to get the rest right, really. There we go. I'll put the bottom bit on when I'm here. So I'm hoping that everyone in the London area, Hilda, I think the tier 4 is right up to you by the looks of it. I'm hoping that you've got all your shopping done that you need to get done, because our Prime Minister announced last night that with this new strain of the virus, etc., etc., there's going to be a real lockdown, proper, almost a complete lockdown in London and the surrounding areas. So there we are, that's got the paper on there. Make sure that's stuck down there. So you can see what's occurring here. we're making a pocket.
Jean got her Harry Potter book glued together.
Oh, Jean, well done. Hooray! That's brilliant. But that's a weight off your mind. So don't need to worry about that anymore.
She probably just pointed a wand at it and said, "Repairio."
Yeah. That would be the way forward, definitely.
I'm not saying you're a witch, though.
No, you reserve that for me. Honestly, I seem to have this ability to doom things. When I was doing my art degree, I wanted to go and visit, you know, a woolen mill. And we live, you know, pretty much in the Scottish borders, which is famous for woolen mills. So we looked, you know, online, and most of them had shut down, but there was a couple that were still open, and you could make appointments and go and, you know, have a tour, etc. So we thought, oh, that's great, you know, we'll do that. And then when we looked the next time, lo and behold, they'd shut down. Last year, Mr. F, who's a great rugby league fan, decided that at long last he was going to buy a season ticket, which is not something he's done before. But it's a local team, and he would support them by buying a season ticket. So he bought the season ticket, he saw one match, and then coronavirus. So no more matches from that. So I don't know what's going to happen to his money. They haven't said yet what they're going to do with it. But it seemed like a heck of a lot of money for one match. Other things, you know, even cricket matches, anything like that. If I say that I'm going to support a certain team, you can bet your bottom dollar they will lose. So, yeah, Mr. F says I have witchy properties. Oh dear. Right, okay. So the next thing to do then is select some prettiness that we want to use. I've been up to my giant napkin storage department, which is a cardboard box, but it's giant. And I've pulled out some bits and pieces. I found this one. And I mean, I don't like the little boy. Not that gone on the pig either. And I don't like these sort of four-leaf clover, shamrocky, Irish influence kind of stuff. But I don't know. So I'm thinking that maybe I could get the big toadstool there, and then the little ones on there. I don't know. I'm going to tear it out and I'm going to have a go. The other ones that I sort of liked that I brought out with me are, I've only ever had 2 of these. And as you can see, I've still got 1. So I have really hoarded these from the day I got them. They're such a pretty pink. I don't know how to describe it to you. It's just so pretty against the cream. I really love it. But, you know, willing to give them a go. The other one was this one with the blue tits on it, which would be no surprise to anybody because, you know, that's kind of like what I like. And then I've got this, which is just a bit of a scrap left. But that would be enough to do the top, and then one of these for the bottom part. I don't know. We'll see how we get on anyway. Oh, there's another one here. Look at this. This is beautiful. Was it Pat or was it Anne that sent me this? And it is so beautiful. It's like flower fairies. It's gorgeous. It's almost too beautiful, that one. Right. So that's kind of my palette as it stands. So let's tear out what we want to use. I'm just going to tear out this quarter first. Now, at this stage, people will be saying, why don't you use a wet brush? If you want to use a wet brush, I'm definitely not going to stop you. This is just the way I do it. There's loads of different ways. We all think our way's the best. But I like tearing. And if you're going to tear, I would recommend that you tear while all your layers are intact. Most napkins have got 2 or 3 layers. And it's much easier to tear them when it's a bit thicker. When they're thin, it's a blooming nightmare. So let's tear around this toadstool. So I just keep my thumb on the bit that I want to preserve and pull away from it. And that's it. It's nothing more scientific than that. You end up with a raggedy edge, which is good because your eye sort of doesn't notice it. If you were to cut round this and have a straight line, your eye really picks up on that. So it's better to have a bit of a raggedy edge. Not, not stupidly raggy, but a bit of a raggy edge.
Jenny says, hi, Bobby.
What Johnny really means is, shut up, Bobby. I don't want any of this shamrocky stuff around the bottom, so I'm going to tear it off. Down to there. Come round this side. So is everyone happy? I like to think that you're all happy. I know, Nancy, you're unwell, and Lynn, obviously you're unwell as well today. But that doesn't stop you being content. Right, so there's my, got a bit of a tear in it. My big toadstool, and that'll go there, just tucking behind there. I could just have him off to the side a little bit like that. We'll see when we get the other one. I bought these with the full intention of doing a fungi journal, and of course that never materialised. So I might as well use them up. I'm hoping that wherever you are in the world there is a supply of napkins, because
people are complaining that in the States there aren't.
Oh,
We just don't have the range of
isn't it
napkins.
strange? I mean, I don't know why we need napkins and you don't. I mean,
Maybe we're messier eaters.
Could well be. That could be it. But you'd think, it was like for lunch parties or dinner parties or something. Well, I'm quite sure they occur in the States just as much as they do here. A lunch party? No, I've never heard of that. Just made it up.
Max wondering what occasion that napkin would be for.
St. Paddy's Day.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, I guess. Right, so if I put those there and this over here, I might just shunt that over off the edge of the page a bit and that there. The alternative is that I have that there and I have these here, and they might look better there actually because of this one being shorter. Don't know why that's funny. I've no idea why that's funny, but it is. It's this end of term thing, I tell you, it really is. There's an end of term vibe going on in this house. Right. So what happens now, once you've got them all torn out, is you need to split the design the design piece of paper away from the other bits. That's one. And they're generally pretty easy to get off. If, however, you find them an absolute pig to get off, here's what you do.
Violet says in the United States they use shirt sleeves instead of napkins.
I don't believe that's true because I've been and I didn't see people doing this all the while, but good. So if you can't get your layers off, get a piece of masking tape, stick it down on the back and then rip it. And that will take off one of the layers of the tissue so you can get the rest off easily peasily. Like that. Okay. And let's just do that again. So you stick it down and then you... I've got no stick left on me thing. Oh, it's taking one off. Fair enough. Let's see if there's enough on that little bit. Yay, look at that. So that is an easy peasy way of getting the napkin off, the waste napkin off the back of your bit that you've cut out. Just a bit of masking tape, that's all it takes. Right. So if I put that there and that there, I'm just going to fold this over around there just to see if I like it. So it's a bit dominant, isn't it? A bit domineering up there. I think I like that better with it bent round. Let's bend it round the other side just to make sure. Can never be certain on these things. Bend it down there. Put that down. Move those over there. Might like that better actually. Yeah, okay. I like that better. So, right, the next question is, what do you use to stick your decoupage down with? Now, there are a million gazillion things that you could use. You could use straight up PVA. It works, and ostensibly that's all Mod Podge is anyway. Which brings us on to Mod Podge. There's matte, gloss, heat resistant. There's loads of actual just Mod Podge products, none of which I care to use. They're all shiny. They all make it very difficult to apply any ink or anything over the top once you've finished. So Mod Podge is not on my list. Another one that I really like is the Fusion Decoupage Gel. As you know, I used to be a stockist for Fusion, so I had no problem getting it. But now I haven't got access to it anymore. So, and Tim Holtz does another one, Collage Medium, I think it's called. That's another one. It's good, but it's kind of difficult getting things to go over the top of it, to be honest with you. So I'm back now to my original, which is the Winsor & Newton Galleria matte medium. Now I get the matte medium because I don't want it to be shiny. They do a gloss medium as well, and it's up to you what finish you want, of course it is, but this really is a matte medium. It is one product that actually does what it says, so I would recommend matte medium. Now then, the next thing, of late Madame Camellia Crafts, Julie, maintains that if your brush is damp when you start to do decoupage, it goes on better. I haven't found that to be the case, and I use dry brushes quite a lot, but it might be worth considering. It might actually work better. You know, just dampen your brush before you begin. Don't forget, if you really wet your brush and then you go into your medium, you're diluting your medium, which might not be what you want. The other thing that Julie uses that I don't have is one of those Tim Holtz brushes. He sells them singly and in sets of 3. And I must say, it looks lovely. It looks just the job. But I'm going to use my trusty De Laroni acrylic brush. It's a little 1/2-inch flat brush, and it's soft. That is the one thing that I would say, make sure it's soft, because if it's hard, you're very likely to tear your little thin bit of tissue paper. So I think that's about everything covered there, probably. So this is the matte medium. It's kind of thick cream consistency. It used to be thicker than that, actually. I don't know, they've changed it somehow. So get plenty of medium on your brush. I'm just using this out the lid. Hold your decoupage where you want it to go, and importantly, start at the middle and work your way out to the edge. If you go around the edge first, which I saw someone do the other day, you will trap the air in the middle and you will get wrinkles. So this way you're pushing all the air out to the edge. And so it just will go flat. It just will. So don't worry about the bit that's hanging over the edge, we'll soon get rid of it. So there you go. Now it's not wrinkled, but it's causing bubbling in this very thin paper underneath. But when it dries really flat, so don't worry. You know, if you're using really delicate music paper or whatever, don't worry, it'll come back to flat.
Sharon says, on the TV that mushroom looks 3D but not on the phone.
Ah, there you go.
And Max says, do you not put a layer underneath?
No, this is the bit that is different in my technique to everybody else that I've seen do it. And I'll explain that bit that was torn wants to come off, so we'll just take that off.
Brew time.
That's the bit that I tore, but that would be all right. I tore it when I was tearing it out the napkin. Yeah, right, let's just explain about putting glue underneath. If you put glue on your page where you're going to put the tissue paper, and then you drop the tissue paper on it, the tissue paper will expand because it absorbs the moisture. Now, if you've glued it down, it's got nowhere to expand to. It can't go out the edges, so it will wrinkle upwards. And it'll be a rare occurrence that you don't get wrinkles if you put glue down first, because you've trapped it in place. This way, if you do it from the centre out, you're pushing all that air and all the wrinkles and all the expansion of the tissue paper out towards the edge, and it just works. It just does. So I want to put this on here. No glue at all first, as you say, Max. And I don't really want to be pressing down on the big one that I've just done. So from the centre, always from the centre out to the edge, and try not to go over and over. I know it's really tempting, but you will eventually tear it because it's just wet tissue. Make sure you've got plenty product on your brush, because if you don't, you'll cause friction and that will tear it. And trust me, I'm not just saying this because, you know, I've read the book. I'm saying it because I've been there. I've made all these mistakes, and this is the only method that I know that works, you know, 100% of the time. Well, let's say 95. I mean, come on. Everybody has an off day. Now, if you get to this stage and that somehow you manage to get wrinkles in it, don't worry. Get your cling film out. Just tear a piece off for yourself and just put it over your decoupage, and then you can just gently press it out. I didn't have any wrinkles in this, so there's nothing to press out, but I'm just sort of showing you what to do. Don't be rough with it. Remember that it is still a wet layer of tissue which has no inherent strength whatsoever. So, you know, where you think you've got wrinkles, just gently ease them out. And then when you're happy that you're okay with that, pull your cling film off, but at a very low, very shallow angle like this, sort of level with the page. And gently, and there you have it. I mean, that's just blooming perfection, if I do say so myself.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
Well done, Miss P. But it is, it's grand.
Is DPD.
Oh, I've got something coming with DPD, and the man's just about to deliver it, so watch out for Bobby going off on one. So I'll do the same here. I can't actually see any wrinkles, but you know, let's just err on the side of safety and gently, 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 gently press that down. And anywhere where you think you've got a wrinkle, just work it slowly, like that. And then when you take your cling film off, take it off sort of level with the page, really gently. Not the time to rush. And there you go. Okay, so don't worry about the bits hanging over. Don't worry that the page is cockled, because it will go back to being level. And there we are. How about that? It's fabulous, isn't it? I really like it. So that's that one. So you all right? You all understand what I'm saying and doing and why I'm doing it, more so. I hope so anyway. Let me know if you're not. And when that's dry, there's a final step that I do, which I will show you when that does get dry. So let's do another one then, flushed with success. This one's going to go horrendously wrong, isn't it? After me blowing my own trumpet. I'm going to open this, whatever it is, from DPD when it comes in. See what it is. It's exciting, isn't it, when you get Amazon parcels?
All right, cheers now.
Oh, it's coming, it's coming. It's tiny. Oh, I know what this is. It's a jigsaw. No, it's not. There we are. What have we got? We've got, oh, look at them. Wide eyelets, you know, the thick ones in the shades of pink. And they're the proper We Are Memory Keepers ones. They're gorgeous, aren't they? I love those. I shall put those in my eyelets and rivets drawer. Marvellous. And I'll keep that because that... Oh, here comes Mr. F with the brew, and I've no room on my desk. I'll give you that because it might come in useful for something. I'm just going to give my hands a bit of a scoosh, because the DPD man's just been handling that. Can't be too careful, can you really? So sorry about this. I appreciate this is not the most exciting thing, watching me wash my hands. Right, okay. Back to this pocket. Right, what shall we use this time? Well, I've used... Oh, shall I use that one I've been preserving? Yeah, this one. Could you put that somewhere, like the kitchen radiator or somewhere to dry? Or fireplace, somewhere, please.
Yeah, on the mantelpiece, not the actual fireplace.
I think it's too good to just burn. Right, so what have I got here? What can I put on it? Well, that's the quarter there, and that's the quarter there, so I could have that down that side. And then a bit of writing and that postmark on the bottom. Yeah, okay. So here goes. I have loved you for a long time, but it's time to do your work. I like the idea of floating pockets. Now, since I've reacquainted myself with altered paper clips, I'm thinking floating pockets are the way forward. And you can put, you know, as I say, you can get a decent sized tag in there and then just paper clip it to the edge of your paper. That would look nice. So, let's have a look. Bobby, what on earth? So if I was to put that along the top... Oh, he's off on one now.
Oi!
Is that enough, I wonder? Yeah, I think that probably is enough, to be honest.
To go outside and see.
I'm just going to tear around. I'm not going to tear around that. I might need that for the bottom. So I'll leave it and its associated leaves behind. Oops, that wasn't very accurate. This tissue is falling apart, which is making tearing it a little bit more difficult than normal. You find that if you've had napkins for yonks, they do sort of start to, the layers come apart. And it does make tearing them a little bit more difficult, I'll grant you that. Right. Okay, let's see what this looks like along there. Looks nice, I think. I like that. Pretty. It's pretty. So I'm going to tear out this little other bit that was attached to it and put that on the bottom along with some text from the napkin, I think. I did try earlier on today putting stamps on before I put the napkins on, you know, stamping something on it, but it just confused the issue. It didn't really look very good. In fact, I don't know, it's been burnt. I put it in my bin, but Mr. F lit the fire and it went away. So how much of this text do I need? Or shall I use the postmark? I don't want that the red border that's around it. I don't want that. I'll tear the postmark out first. See where we are. Everything that we do in the world of junk journals, it all involves auditioning stuff the whole time, doesn't it? Making decisions. And if you're a fairly indecisive person, it can make simple processes last for hours. So if I put that there with this behind it.
Terry says the pockets would be perfect for putting your take 5.
Yeah, they would. They would. Good thinking, Terry.
And Jen says, "Dear Santa, please bring me some beautiful napkin like Fiona is using. Love, Jen."
It's no good, Jen. You're on the naughty step. You volunteered yourself last night. Too late.
Yeah. You were seduced by the chocolate tart.
Yes. You've got no chance. Right, I think that looks quite nice. Would it look nicer if it wasn't like upright? Yeah, it would. Okay, so let's get these stuck down. Haven't used any of that fabulous text, but I'm saving it. Oh, we're all the same. I know we are. I know you're not shaking your head at me because you would do exactly the same. Yeah, this is dropping to pieces, so it's offering up its the top design layer to me. Are you crying now, Jen? I'm really sorry.
No, she doesn't.
I feel a bit.
Darn it, food got me again.
I know. Is Flo on?
The downfall of many a good woman.
Yeah.
Flo's on, yeah.
Flo's on. Right, so I'm going to put that there right up to the edge, and that had a bit of a kilter on there. Might have it just coming off the bottom. Yeah, okay. Right, let's get the medium out again. Dry my brush off, because it's sitting in water, so it's soaking, so just dry it off a bit anyway. And off we go again. Down the centre. know it's a bit of a strange thing to get the hang of, that you don't actually put glue underneath it. But if you think about it, it's just tissue paper, you know, it doesn't take much to get through the tissue paper.
Bernice has got to go.
All right, Bernice.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for joining us. Have lovely holiday time. I hope it's really nice for you. And that I'm just going to put off. I want to see the New York, but have the rest of it coming off the bottom. And it's one of my favourite things, actually, is seeing decoupage over text or over music paper. I like that as well. There we are. That's fine. Looks nice. And this I'm going to bring along so I can see the end. Oh, turn that off. A bit vigorous. So I'm just going to have it just over the top because it's a bit...
You can explain now why the sound went.
Bobby, that's why the sound went. He went careering over it, over the cable, and pulled it out. So I'm really sorry that we went into stealth mode. We went into stealth mode for a little while, but we're back, we're back, we're back. He's not normally like this, so, you know, I'm not cross with him. He just, if he sees anything, it's great excitement for him because he seldom sees anything. Right, so once again, I'm going to do the thing with the cling film, because down here, it just doesn't look as smooth as it could be. That's what you get for being so blinking big-headed. I'm just going to tear that off down there. But I'll come back to that later and really, oh, get off, really fix it up. So I'm going to get the cling film, which is here, and which you can use more than once. Pop it down onto there. I'm just going to flatten that out a little bit. You're now knocking at the back door to get in, honestly. It's being the perfect
every time he gets
pin.
excited, he farts. Stinks in here.
I thought it was you. There we go. That's that one. I might as well just do the top while I'm here. And you'll feel ridges. That's not the decoupage. It's the paper, the very fine paper that we've used behind it, which, as I say, once it's dry, you won't feel at all.
Jenny is just asking what medium it is that you're using.
It's this, Jania. It's Winsor & Newton Galleria matte medium. And it's about the best value for money, I think. There are loads of other matte mediums around. Lots of other companies do them. But this is a good middle-priced product, and it works.
It's sort of the student range, isn't it, the Galleria?
Yeah. But it's good enough for sticking decoupage down without a shadow of a doubt. So there we are, that's that one. It's pretty, isn't it? Pretty. Is the other one dry, my dear? If not, I'll have to dry it. Force dry it. Not bad. Could you, thanks. Don't put your hand where the decoupage is. Come off in your hand. It's not bad, this. Just, sorry about this, just a couple of minutes and I'll... Turned out quite nicely this one, didn't it?
Very nice. Always look much nicer in reality than.
Yeah, I think it's sad to say that, but what can I do? I can't go around everybody saying what you think, what you think.
Well, you could.
I could, but I could if I had Santa's sleigh on Christmas Eve.
Exactly.
I don't know, for some reason that's making it feel worse.
You might find it cheaper to rent the day after.
Yeah, the day after, yeah. Redundant for a year. Now, I've got a sanding block here, and it is really, really fine. For what I'm about to do, you could do with one that's just a little bit rougher, but I need this that fine for something else. So take your sanding block.
Max has got to go.
Oh, thanks, anyway, Max, for joining us. And do it at 90 degrees to your paper. And you'll find that you get a really nice edge. As I say, if I had a slightly thicker one, it would have been off by now. But slightly coarser is what I mean to say. But you can see that's come off. It's really smooth because I've just sanded it. And it comes off in one piece and it looks great. I think going in with scissors is not a good idea particularly. I don't really like it because you can never get it really tight up and you always get that little fluffy bit, which I don't care for. I'm just going to do this little bit on the bottom. As I say, this is more time consuming than if I'd actually bothered to go and look for a more coarse block. But that's fine, that's grand.
Lorna says hi.
Hi, Lorna. Not using your papers today for the first time in ages. But I do see that Julie at Camellia Crafts Design has just started a project using your papers, Lorna. It's looking really nice as well. Right, okay, so pretty much all that's left to do is to sew around it. So let's hot foot over to the sewing machine. I'd like that to be really dry, but it's kind of not 100% there. Right, so straight stitch. I've got a very neutral coloured thread, and I'm just going to sew along the top part of the pocket first. Which of course also catches in the encyclopedia paper as well. So, oh, I can show you here, I think. So yeah, it's just the top part of the pocket, that part of the pocket that I've sewn across, because once I sew around it, I can't get my machine in there. So now I'm just going to sew around the whole thing. It's better, it's really better if you can leave it for a little bit longer than this. But you know. And go quite slowly with this. I mean, there's 4 layers of envelope, plus the paper, plus the decoupage. So, you know, don't ask your machine to do anything heroic. You'll only regret it. Just take your time with it. threads all out the way. And tie it off. There we go. So here we have it. This will flatten, and if it doesn't flatten, trust me, it will flatten once I get some books on it. It's just had quite a bit of moisture and stuff thrown at it, so you know, it wants to buckle, but it won't when it's dry and we've sorted it. So there we are. There we have it. That's one. When that's, I'll give that back to Mr. F just to put on the mantelpiece for another, because I just want to show you the final thing that I always do with my decoupage, whilst I talk to you seriously for a while. As you know, we do our videos and we do them free for everyone, and that was our ethos right at the beginning, and it hasn't changed at all. We never wanted to do this as a business to make a profit out of it. That wasn't what it was about. But we're finding it increasingly difficult to do these videos for free because it's so expensive. You know, the paper, the ink, all the kit that we have that needs, you know, replacing bit by bit. I mean, Mr. F bought 2 new cables this week, and it was a horrendous amount of money just for 2 cables. So we've decided really that we need to go kind of more into business mode without being in business. So we've looked at various options, and Lynn Whitman has been a real help and support throughout this. She's looked into Patreon, Memberful, even having a web page, looked at all the options to see which would suit us better. And we thought that Patreon might be the way to go. For those of you that don't know about it, it's a site where artists, or people like me, have a site, and you can join, you can become a member for various amounts of money, you know, sort of $5, $10, $15, whatever it is, per month, and you get some content in exchange for your payment. Well, we did like that idea, but what we don't like is the idea of there being an exclusive club that not everyone can join in, because particularly at this time with COVID, etc., money is tight. It really is, and I don't want to be a drain on whatever you've got, because you feel you're missing out and you should be in Patreon. So we've discounted Patreon and Memberful and the sites that you have to pay per month. What we've decided to do is remind you that there is a donate button on the top of the YouTube, of my YouTube channel. You don't have to donate. This is the thing. This is what I want to get across to you. You do not have to donate. We want to keep it free for people that can't afford to donate. So don't feel you've got to rush and do that. I'm just reminding you it's there. And the other thing that we've decided to do, which I haven't even talked over with Lynn, I'm sorry about that, Lynn, is we've decided that I will make things for my Etsy shop and sell them. And that will bring us enough income, we think, to cover, you know, with the odd donation here and there, and the teeny tiny, you won't believe how much money from YouTube that we get every month. So we'll have things, the odd journal or folio or whatever in Etsy to sell. So, you know, when you buy it, you know that that money's going straight back into our channel. I'll have the odd things like these in sets to sell. You know, once again, supporting the channel. And we think that we can do it that way rather than being exclusive. That's what we don't want, a separate group of you that are getting more than the rest simply because you've got more money. That's not what we're about. So there you go. That's the kind of serious bit. I hope you understand. I've been straight up with you from the very beginning about, who's donated, who hasn't donated, when people have given me paper sets to use, etc. I've always told you everything that's going on. And so it's only fair now, I think, that I tell you what's going on and what we've decided and why we've decided it. So the thing is, things like this will be for sale in my Etsy shop. If you want to buy them, I'd be delighted. If you don't want to buy them, then, you don't have to. There's no pressure at all, which is the good thing. That's the way we wanted it. If you think that you could visualize these things in your journal and you'd quite like to have them, then buy them and I'll send them to you. And I'll be happy and I hope you'll be happy. If you can't see these in your journal, then don't blinking buy them. I'm not saying buy, definitely not. That brings us on to the next problem, which is postage to the States. And it is prohibitively almost expensive. It's ridiculous. I mean, you couldn't just buy a set of 3 pockets like this, because by the time you've paid the postage, it would be way too high. So what we've decided to do is put together boxes made of things like this and tags and, decorated envelopes, that sort of thing. And we'll put them in weights. So, in a certain weight box, you will get 3 of these, 3 envelopes, 3 tags, 3 whatever. And it'll weigh a certain amount, and therefore it'll cost you X plus X amount of postage. And that's the best way we can come up with doing it. So I hope that you understand that, and I hope you understand why I'm saying it. Mr. F's away out with one of my pockets. I don't know where he's
going to dry them properly.
I know they've gone sticky, haven't they? So I hope that you understand that. I know that there'll be a bit of, what the American box, what's in it, what's not in it, etc., etc. But I'll do my level best, and I'll do all these on Etsy because I think some of you haven't taken to Made Me. It's a shame because it means that ultimately the group gets more money from Made Me than Etsy, but I'll do them on Etsy, and then you know where they all are. So now you can understand why I didn't ink around the edges, because if you get that and you want to put it somewhere and you want it blue, then do it blue. If you want it vintage photo, just pop yourself a piece of paper in there. I haven't got a piece of paper to my name. How bizarre is that? Just get an envelope out. If you just put something in there, then you can ink around that top, and you can ink around the whole thing and make it your own, make it the colour that you want. If you want to add lace to it, or a charm, or anything else that you fancy, this needn't be the completed thing. You can take it and make it your own. So, some of them would lend themselves to that. That would look pretty with some lace across there in the right colour. These ones are my favourite, of course. I love them. So that's kind of the situation as it is. I hope you understand. Mike S, yes, full support. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Include the shipping in the price, Sharon. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. I think that's a really good idea, Sharon. So it'll be listed as a US box, weight, whatever, inclusive of the shipping. I think that's well done, Sharon. I think that's really helpful. Well, Shaz, I've always been honest, right from day dot. I just don't see the point in not being honest, because, as I say, I'm not running it as a business. I don't want to make money from it. I just don't want to be having to all the time be putting money into it. That's all. So, right, let's get back to the matter in hand, which is, this was the stamp here that's hanging off the edge. So just take your sandpaper.
People are asking if you're still going to be using Made Me.
I will still be using Made Me, yes. And really, out of the two, I would prefer that you use Made Me if you can. It's just Etsy are crippling with that. And, things like these, they're going to be so cheap anyway. that by the time Etsy, PayPal, everybody else has had their cut, Etsy charge for changing the currency from dollars to pounds. You know, by the time they've done all that, honestly, it's, you know, not worth my while sitting here making the things. So if you can use Made Me, I really would appreciate it. But if you can't get on with it, that's fine. I haven't sewn around this one yet. I'll get it sewn. And then there's the top bit here. We've got to rough a bit of sandpaper in that drawer out there. It's concentrating.
What?
Just asking if we had a rough a bit of sandpaper. Doesn't matter if we haven't.
Use your tongue.
Boy. No need for it, is there? Just takes ages with this really fine one. It's driving me dotty. It's still not there. The store bit's hanging over. So yeah, be brave and use quite an abrasive one. And then you do get a really nice edge. Yeah, here he is. Wow, look at this. Right, this is what they are. Harris sanding blocks. That's what they are in this country. I don't know if Harris is an international company or not. It's got a royal warrant.
You can imagine the Queen doing a skirting boards, can't you?
I say, Philip, fetch me the sanding block.
With a rubber glove and a trim.
Oh dear. I can't get it out of here now. No. Right. Somebody's going to ask me what grit this is. It doesn't say. It just says, flexible enough to sand most difficult shapes and mouldings, can be easily washed out with water when clogged. So there you go, that's all it says. But it is rough. It's quite rough. So you just, like this, 90 degrees, be brave. And that just all comes off. It's just excellent.
People are asking about PayPal.
Yeah.
What sort of fees do they, are these 5%, is it, something like that?
Yeah, they take 5%.
Because they're asking, is that a good solution? Like, because of course the donate button takes you to PayPal, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think it's the safest solution for everybody. That way then, you've got some security. You've paid it to PayPal, so you know it's definitely gone where it's going. And for me, it's safe because the bank details aren't just floating around there. You know, it sounds awful. It sounds like I'm saying that you know one of you out there is dishonest. I'm not saying that. It just takes my bank details to be on your phone when you get hacked, and we're all in trouble. So I think PayPal might be the way forward, to be honest. And I know it seems a right waste, doesn't it? 5% of your money and what could be my money just going to PayPal. But I think it's the safest way, to be honest with you. Right. This is not 100% dry. This is probably drier. So I'm just going to show you what I do. This might end up with me crying. But what I do when it's absolutely bone dry, like these are, you feel it, and you can still feel that kind of little grit that comes from that decoupage napkin. So what I do is I take my very, very, very fine sanding block and I just go over it very gently. Don't forget that the paper underneath is only that Pears encyclopedia, so if you go a bit too much, you're going to go through it as well. And just do it like that. Brush the dust off. And then when you feel it, it's really smooth. And it's just, you can't tell where it starts and the paper ends. It just sets it really back into the paper. So it's just the finishing step, I think. I think it needs that. Don't go too harsh, especially when it's not really dry. you know, it's much better to leave it overnight if you can.
Because if you're doing sort of a grungy one, you probably don't want to sand. You probably want that texture and...
Yeah, I mean, if you do it where you've got wrinkles and then you sand, it will take the wrinkles off, all that tissue where the wrinkle is. So you'll end up with a really grungy look to it, which, you know, given my latest dalliance with grunge, that might be something worth exploring, actually.
That's no way to talk about me.
So, yeah, that's lovely. That's great. So that just needs sewing up, and this needs sanding down. I'm going to go really gently with this because I'm really not convinced that it's 100% dry.
People saying if you use family and friends, there's no feel.
Yeah.
Well, they are all family.
They're all family and they're certainly all friends. You'll know when you've done enough because you just rub your finger over it and you can't tell where one stops and the other stops. I don't want you all rushing to donate if you can't afford to. That's not what this is about, people. It's really, really not. You know, that's why we didn't do the Patreon way forward. Because I don't want any clicks and exclusivity and, oh, they're in Patreon so they get that, or, you know, new Facebook group for the people who are in Patreon. I mean, it's all very nice for the people who are in Patreon, but if you can't afford to, then you feel like you're missing out. And we don't want that. Neither of us want that at all. So that's the route we've decided to go down. I hope you're all right with it. I'm just going to sew around this before I go. It's a good job, really, because that glue stick hasn't done much of a job, to be fair. Oh, I've just got another little bit along the bottom here.
Sandpaper working better?
Yeah, much better. Well, quicker. I mean, the other stuff does, but it's like blinking.
Polishing it off.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so I'm just going to go across the top of the pocket. Oh, I don't know why I did that. And just around the whole thing.
Oh, Dixie says she can speak for everybody and say that you're a good person and we all love you.
Oh, oh, that's so nice. Well, I think, you know, I think honesty is the best policy pretty much always. Let people know what's going on then. Nearly there, guys. That's where the paper's decided to drop off. That's it's, oh, what do you call it? That the glue stick is what I'm looking for. and then it's been put on top of a radiator, and it just doesn't have the stickability.
No, there are sort of a temporary adhesion.
Yeah, I'd always use them when I'm sewing, but to be honest, I think other glues are better for longevity, let's say. I am, however, very much liking the Cosmic Shimmer glue that Hilda bought for me. This one. People say that it's a bit, Hilda's one of them that says it makes your paper cockly. I really didn't find that, and I did glue on some of my of this Pears Encyclopedia with it, which is very thin paper. I found it very good, I must say, and I'm delighted to have it. Thank you, Hilda. Right, so there we are. Let's have a look at what we've got. So we've got that one. Could be my favourite. Yep.
Jerry is asking if we have a direct email that people could use.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll type it.
Yeah, type it in. And, yeah. Right, let's have a look then. What have we got? We've got that one with that napkin that I've been saving for years. I've just got to say this because it's in my mind. We are not begging. We don't want you to all rush out and do something because you feel we've asked you to. I'm just saying that's all. Don't feel that you have to. Please don't feel you have to. Otherwise, it's all been for nothing then. So there we are. We've got this one. It's lovely and cream on the back. Those envelopes are gorgeous, I must say. Make a lovely floating pocket. It'd be nicer if I just ran over those stitches with a bone folder and knocked them down into the paper a bit. So if you get your paper clip like this, oh, I've already stuck a pin to it, and you want to put it on the side of your journal, just paper clip it on. If you want to make it an altered paper clip, all the better. If you want to do a gigantic one, a la Jen, feel free. But you would get a really nice journaling card tag in there.
Mike says you need a subscriber drive. Get the numbers up on the subscriptions.
Oh, right.
Because the more subscribers you have, the more...
What shall I do, Mike? What am I going to do to entice people to subscribe to me? The problem we have is that most of our output is done live. And it's great because people get to know us, they like the live chat, and I love the live chat, and I love doing it live because I feel like you're all with me all the time. But for other people that happen upon us and look and say, oh, an hour and a half, I'm not sitting through an hour and a half of her chatting away. So we don't get that, we don't pick up that many subscribers that way. The way of doing it would be to put out lots of shorter, punchier videos, which might attract subscribers to us, but not necessarily what our core following would like. I don't know. Anyway, just rambling. Right, that one. Then we've got the toadstool one. That's nice as well, actually, isn't it? I mean, that could go in any journal pretty much, couldn't it? Could go in a child's journal, could go in a botanical journal. Yeah, it's nice, that one. And then the blue tit one, well, you can't go wrong with a blue tit, can you? And these are pretty, these flowers here. It's watercolour, it's lovely. With a butterfly there and butterfly there. Really nice, like that one. This one's more delicate, definitely. But nice still.
Lynn's got a question.
Lynn. May I act as one of your fundraisers? You may, Lynn. Lynn, I trust you with the world.
If she lets me know the size for the cheerleader outfit.
Can you imagine Lynn and I doing a cheerleading dance?
That's just this image of Fantasia. Disney's Fantasia run across the front of my mind.
That's Lynn not wanting to act as a... That's a blue tit again. This one here, it's delicate. It's really delicate, but not bad for being delicate. I think once that's inked around, it would look really quite vintage and quite nice. And there we are, just the other two that I'd already done. So there you go. We have achieved something today. And I've got you told what I wanted to tell you before we break up for the holidays. You will no doubt, I'll no doubt pop up. I can't imagine going for that length of time without seeing you all. It's too long to not see you. Can't bear it. But as it stands at the moment, we'll see you again on the Saturday, something like 8th or 9th of January 2021. How ridiculous does that sound? Goodness. Anyway, we'll come to an end of 2020, which won't be a bad thing. So I'll see you when I see you is the best thing to say, is it? What?
Carey's asking if you could put the info on the group.
Yes, Kerry. Yeah, definitely. Did you miss when those will be for sale? I will. They will be for sale on Made Me, and I'll also put them in the Etsy shop. That needs sanding. In groups of, I don't know, what do you think? 3? Groups of 3, maybe? And then I can make another 2 groups to go with them. You've got to bear in mind I've got to make these, so it's not going to be instant. But I will put these two ones up, like that. As soon as I've finished ranting and rabbiting on here. I think I'm done anyway. I think I've finished rabbiting on. All that remains for me to say is please be safe over the holiday period. I know the temptation is to, go and see people and do things that you shouldn't do. Please remember this is not a funny thing at all. It's very, very serious. And so, stick by the guidelines, do what you're supposed to do, but try and have the best time that you can. I've appreciated your company throughout this entire year. I can't now imagine not knowing you all. So have a good time. I'm sure I'll pop up somewhere along the line before the 8th or 9th of January. But in the meantime, take care, everybody. Thank you very much for all your company and support and kindness more than anything throughout the year. Thanks very much, guys. Bye. Happy holidays.
Bye. See you all soon. Bye. Happy holidays.